Okay, section 6.2 is continuing using our worksheet. So in 6.1, we completed a trial balance. Now in 6.2, we're going to complete what are called adjustments. So an adjustment is used to show when we have used an asset. So when a business consumes or uses an asset, for example, supplies is common and our prepaid insurance is common, that asset no longer exists. So therefore we have to show that that asset has been used by deducting and or crediting the asset and then recording it as an expense. So debiting our expense account. The worksheet is going to be used to plan these adjustments. So the definition of an adjustment is just any change recorded on a worksheet to update that ledger account. When we are doing an adjustment, the first thing we have to decide is what is the account balance of the asset, and then what should be the balance of the asset, meaning what is left, what have we used and what is remaining. Then what is going to be done to correct that? So how do we subtract out what we use and post that to an expense account? Once we figure out those numbers, then a debit to an expense account is made and a credit to the asset account is made. So those are the steps for recording an adjustment on a worksheet. Please read through them. We also are going to use the letters A and B to label what the adjustments are. Once all our adjustments have been made, we still have to rule and prove that debits equal credits. So we'll have to do our totals line. Just some basis or just some terminology down here. Accrual basis of accounting is when we report income when it is earned and expenses when they are incurred. A cash basis accounting is reporting income when the cash is finally received and expenses when the cash is paid. So two different types. One is when it happens, one is when physical cash is present. And then a prepaid expense is just a cash paid for an expense in that physical period, although it is not used until a later date. So let's go to 6-2, work together. It is April 30th of the current year. Fix It Now has completed our trial. We have already completed our trial balance. Do that in 6-1. And we are going to analyze the adjustment information given. So here are our adjustments. Supplies on hand. So this is what we have left in our supplies account is $75. We started with $228. Our adjustment is going to be what we used. So there's $75 left. We started with 228. If I take 228 and subtract $75, I am going to get $153. That is my adjustment to my supplies account. That is my credit. I need to go down to supplies expense and put in the same amount, but as a debit. So I created an expense for my business because I used those supplies up. Next is the value of prepaid insurance. So I started with $375 worth of insurance. I now am months later, and it is only worth $250. So I need to update that adjustment. So 375 is what I started with. I'm going to subtract out 250, which is what it is worth now. And we can see that those two equal 125, meaning I've already used $125 worth of that insurance. So that's my credit to prepaid insurance. My debit is going to go to insurance expense for $125. The last thing I need to do here is add up my debits and my credits, which they're the same numbers on both sides. So 125 plus 153 is 278, and then 278. All right, that is 6.2. The biggest thing to remember is what did you start with? What is the value now? When you subtract those two, that is your adjustment amount. These two balances, 75 and 250, are going to come in later when we do our balance sheet. And we have just created a balance in those two expense accounts. Go ahead and complete the on your own and terms if there are any.